Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions.
That cover's so awesome. That, as they say, is that. Marvel Comics. Let's go ahead and get started.
Welcome all you Minties to Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. I'm the Uncanny Omar. Today I'm going to go over my top 10 must-reads, essential buys, or books to check out for the month of October of 2025. So join me! And welcome back, everybody. Now, before going any further, a big thank you to our patrons for making videos like this possible. Could not be doing this without you all. And a small reminder to hit that like button, please. Goes a long way for us here on the channel. Small thing you can do, but it does mean the world to us. I did not cheat. I kept it at 10. Is that cheating? It's my channel. It's my rules. But no, I like to limit myself. You know, realistically, 10. That's it. So in this segment, I like to talk about books that I think should get the spotlight, or I myself am curious in reading. Most of the time, like 9 times out of 10, I've already read this stuff. Sometimes it's new to me, and I'm like, wait, that looks awesome. I want to put that on my list. I did this actually many years ago. I have been doing this, where I talk about, or at least I talk to myself, like, okay, you can only afford this many books. These are ones that you should get. And that's kind of like how this got started years ago. So it's kind of a look inside of my brain. So let's go ahead and this is, by the way, in release order. Let's talk about the first one. And that is Ghost Rider, Danny Ketch Omnibus Volume 2. Of course, I'm recommending this one. If you're a fan of the first one, comes around October. It's a horror-centric book. It's got the Rise of the Midnight Suns. It's got the Midnight Massacre. Ghost Rider 25 through 40, Ghost Rider Blaze Spirits of Vengeance 1 through 13, Morbius Living Vampire 1 and 12, Darkhold Pages from the Book of Sins 1 and 11, Night Stalkers 1 and 10, Ghost Rider Captain America Fear one shot, X-Men, Adjectiveless X-Men, the crossover with the Brood, 9, Web of Spider-Man 95 and 96, Midnight Suns Unlimited 3, material from Marvel Comics Presents 119 to 130, as well as Midnight Suns Unlimited 1 and 2, and Marvel Holiday Special 3. The reason that the material is there from the Midnight Suns Unlimited is because it focuses primarily on just Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch. Like, Morbius and those guys don't get the spotlight. But the way this is mapped is the reason why I'm recommending it. If you're a fan of this era, even if you have been getting the Epic collections, this is just mapped so damn well. The only thing, and I mean the only thing, which is not that big of a deal, to me at least, is that it's missing the letter pages. I wish the letter pages were in this collection. Or every collection, for that matter. Whether it's Marvel or DC. I know Marvel tends to do the classic stuff and put the letter pages in there. DC really doesn't, and I wish they would start doing it. But I love them. Because to me, that is that time capsule where you get to see what people were talking about. You get to see what people were hyped up about. You get to see what people were disappointed in. You get to start seeing people get mad and be like, I'm dropping this book forever. Kind of like what we do now on social media. It was just, I think, an important part of all these books. But, I mean, you've got artwork in here from Andy Kubert, Adam Kubert. You also have Ron Garney, Ron Wagner, Brett Blevins, to name a few of the artists. Joe Kubert inking his son's stuff. Howard Mackey, of course, the majority of the writing. And then, of course, that one issue by this guy named Jim Lee for that crossover. Absolutely recommending it. Especially if you love the first one, check this one out. Absolute Dark Victory is the next book. You all know I love, or people that have been watching my channel, know how much I love Batman Year 2. To me, it's a very underrated story. I love it. And I really don't care what anybody else thinks. And that's the beauty of collected editions or comics. You should like whatever you want. Doesn't matter what anybody else says. Absolute Batman Dark Victory is the retcon of Batman Year 2. This is collecting issues 0 through 13 of this masterpiece by Tim Sale and, of course, Jeff Loeb. It is the third in the trilogy of Batman stories that they worked on. That started with Haunted Night, and then Long Halloween, and then we got Dark Victory. Dark Victory does work like a Batman Year 2 slash... I'm sorry, this is a Year 3 retcon. Long Halloween was the Year 2 retcon. This one works like a Batman Year 3 slash Robin Year 1. So it is when Dick Grayson's adopted by Bruce Wayne after the horrible things that happened at the circus where he lost both of his parents. And they start fighting crime together. And it's this organized crime of, again, the Falcones and all them, but also bringing back characters like the Joker, Poison Ivy, Mr. Freeze, and a bunch of other characters. But one of the most important ones, of course, being Harvey Dent turning into Two-Face. But it's a wonderful story that should not be missed. This is the second time it's ever been printed in absolute format. Long Halloween has been printed 3 times, and it was tough. It was a toss-up between this or Batman Hush, but I feel like this was to me, a better story, and I love Batman Hush. That would have been number 11, by the way, absolutely, if you missed out on it. But Batman Hush Absolute Edition has been printed 4 times, so figured give this one some love. X-Men Epic Collection Wounded Wolf. Some of the best X-Men stories by Chris Claremont, John Romita Jr., collecting X-Men 199 to 210, so right up until the beginning of the Mutant Massacre, X-Men Annual 9 and 10, New Mutant Special Edition number 1, and Marvel Fanfare 33. So this is the stuff that leads into the Mutant Massacre. You'll see the fight here between the X-Men versus the Hellfire Club. There'll be some new members from the Hellfire Club. You'll see the coming of Nimrod. You'll see the 200th issue, the big issue that something happens to Professor X and he's like, deuces, I'm out, baby. 201, which is a magnificent issue drawn by Rick Leonardi, which shows the fight between a powerless Storm and Cyclops for leadership of the X-Men, plus the first appearance of a very important baby. And the title, Wounded Wolf, from issue 205, which done an old reader, new reader just recently on. If you're watching this later, this is being recorded before I did that. But anyway, absolutely. Oh my gosh, yes. Epic Collection. I know it's been in Masterworks. I know it's been in Omnibus editions. I know it's been collected before. Doesn't matter. It is officially an Epic Collection. Birds of Prey by Gail Simone, Omnibus Volume 1. One of my most wanted. Collecting issues 56 through 90, Birds of Prey Secret Files number 1. So in here you are going to find the work of course, Gail Simone writing every one of these stories. Ed Benes kicking off the title. And let me tell you, DC, when they put Ed Benes on this book, they knew the type of audience they were going to get. Man, did he draw some cake. There's a reason why it's called Ed Benes Cake between comic book collectors and readers. But this is collecting stuff by him and also Alex Lay and Joe Bennett. Nicola Scott supplying the cover, and then eventually she will become the ongoing artist. But here you have the addition of something really special, and that is, or someone rather special, the Huntress. Because before this, it was Black Canary, Oracle, plus friends, whether it was Blue Beetle, whether it was Catwoman. But here comes the addition of the Huntress, which to a lot of people is like, wait, the Huntress hasn't always been a part of Birds of Prey? No, not always. This book I cannot wait for. It's one of my most wanted. Yes, I want a Chuck Dixon one day, but this is a great start. And speaking of great start, DC finest Supergirl, Body and Soul. So we are looking at this era of Supergirl that is so bizarre, that is so weird, because we're not looking at Supergirl as you know her now, in case you're reading comic books and you're like, oh, this is Kal-El's cousin, she comes from Krypton, it's not Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. This is the story of Matrix, Linda Danvers. Matrix is an alien. She's not Kryptonian. Linda Danvers is a human. And how it all comes together in this weird off-the-wall type of story, collecting the first 18 issues, plus, of course, the first appearance of all this in Showcase 96 number 8, Supergirl Annual 1 and 2, and Supergirl Plus number 1. This has been collected before in trade paperback, but it doesn't matter. If you missed out on it, get it, because it is so good. To me, it reads more like a Vertigo title, with the character of Linda Danvers, who is now this Supergirl, and her relationship with her parents and her peers, and then, of course, also superheroics in here, in a weird way. Oh my gosh, it is so damn good. And while not an omnibus, because not everything has to be, although one day I would love it, it's one of my most wanted, it is definitely one not to be missed. Cheats, Deluxe Edition hardcover slipcase. I absolutely love every one of these 3 books. They make me smile, they make me cry, they make me laugh, they move me. And that's the beauty and power of graphic novels. You have sheets, delicates, and lights in here. And it is all of this is done by Brenna Tumblr with phenomenal pastel colors. And it is all the story of this one 13-year-old girl named Marjorie who owns a laundromat. And I've recorded my overview. I'm sure I'll unleash it before this comes out. Making friends with a ghost that wears a stereotypical sheet. And then in the second book, we're introduced to Eliza. And the third book is how exactly did this little ghost end up dying? What happened? Oh, man. This one is $75 for all three of the hardcovers. And again, it is a slipcase edition. So best way to get all three of the books in case you have been wanting to read them. Next up is She-Hulk by Rainbow Rowell Omnibus. For years, I hear people complaining about, manga's doing this thing where they're doing slice of life. I love comics like that. Why can't American comics do that? Here's your answer. Or here's an American comic doing this slice of life type of story, which we've seen before. Of course, in independent titles like Love and Rockets and Strangers in Paradise. And we have even seen it in superhero comics, whether it's Vision or Hawkeye. But this time around, it is She-Hulk. And oh my gosh, it is so damn fun. Collecting She-Hulk 1 through 15, Sensational She-Hulk 1 through 10, Marvel Comics 1, the She-Hulk story. And the artwork in here is done by, for the most part, you have Roji Antonio, Iguara, and Takeshi Miyazawa doing some of the art, and Andre Genolet. But Rainbow Rowell is the main writer on this book, who has done, of course, a lot of novels, and has done comic books like The Runaways. But this is on another level. Don't expect the same type of stories that you'll find in She-Hulk by John Byrne, or even She-Hulk by Dan Slott, or Sensational She-Hulk, the original, Silver Age stuff. This is its own thing, and it really does feel like a slice of life type of manga. I kind of compare it more to Strangers in Paradise than anything else. Jonah Hex, baby. All-Star Western Omnibus. All 1,064 pages of this for $125. I'm a huge fan of this stuff by Jimmy Palmiotti, Justin Gray. And this is just stuff that happened during the New 52. So we need the actual book that leads into this. Is it 100% necessary to read that? The Jonah Hex comic? No, not at all. But I think it's completely warranted because we need it. Those books have been out of print, but I'm glad we're getting a start. We have known for a while that DC loves, somebody in the DC Collected Editions department absolutely loves this era of DC Comics, which is the New 52 era. I'm pretty sure we'll get something from before this one day. But for now, this is not to be missed. There's some great mature level storytelling in here, stories that stand alone. There's even a weird tie-in to the Court of Owls thing that is happening through the pages of Batman. But I don't want to give too much away in case you've never read it. And all of the issues that appeared during the New 52 are in here. So it is completely done. But like I said, we need the one before this, before the New 52 era. And next up on my list is none other than Rook Exodus. I've already done an overview of the trade paperback. I fell in love with the story. I love Jeff Johns and Jason Fabok working together, but it's also Brad Anderson and Rob Leave. This is the deluxe edition, and we know that their deluxe editions are huge and oversized. And oh my gosh, if you have not read it and you're like, wait, I know we're getting a hardcover, and you've been waiting to read this, you are in for a treat because the art is awesome. The story is awesome. Everything I love about this story comes from probably my adoration of anime. And in a weird way, I don't think Jeff Johns really watches a lot of anime, but it kind of reminds me of something that I would have watched in the 90s, like that 80s, 90s anime era. It's just a lot of freaking awesome storytelling about a group of humans that went to another planet, and then all of a sudden the planet's like, nope, sorry, get out. So they all have to get out. Hence the title, Exodus. But then they're wearing these masks, right? Like some of these humans can control the animals in this land, and those are the ones that remain. They're trying to build a spaceship. They're trying to get out. So that's the journey, and that's where it starts. And I cannot recommend this one enough. In case you missed out on the trade paperback, or in case you just want to read it in hardcover, this is the one. This is the one. Next up on my list is none other than Harrow County. The complete Harrow County Compendium, collecting all 4 of the library editions, which has been already collected in the complete Harrow County hardcover, that big box set that comes in a slipcase that looks like the trunk where the skinless boy keeps his skin. Collecting all 32 issues of this series. It has a total of 1,080 pages. Again, it is the exact same content as that complete Harrow County hardcover. So, if you haven't had a chance to read it because you couldn't find the library editions, or you have been waiting for a trade paperback, like a big thick trade, this is the way to get it. This big thick trade has, again, a total of 1,080 pages and retails for $59.99. And we got a new cover there by none other than Tyler Crook. And it is all the story of Emmy fighting off a bunch of haints in her small little county of Harrow County, where they have a bunch of haints. Now, if you're interested in any of the books I've talked about, check out our sponsors.
If you're in Europe and you're interested in buying these books, definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices, flat shipping rate of €12 for all EU countries, emails answered within 24 hours, waltzcomicshop.com, and you can use the code nearmintcondition at checkout and get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order over €40. That's Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Ding!
CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget, the CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more.
And those were my top 10 most anticipated collected editions coming out in October. Books to read, books to check out. Check them out from the library if you get a chance. But if you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below what top 10 you are looking forward to the most. What top 5, top 1, whatever it is. What did I miss from the list that you're like, dude, how did you leave this out? I know. Dude, there's so many freaking omnis that last week from DC. Like, we've got a new printing of House of Mysteries. We've got the Omnibus of Justice League by Tiny and Scott Snyder. Like, 4 omnis. This was hard, but that was my list. Everyone, stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.